Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed by clutter in your home? Do you ever find yourself struggling to navigate around furniture, searching through piles of papers, or feeling like there's just too much stuff to manage? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many of us, especially as we get older, accumulate more than we need, and before we know it, our homes are filled with things that no longer serve us. In today's video, I'm going to guide you through 28 things you might not need in your home anymore. Things that are cluttering up your space and adding unnecessary stress to your life. By watching until the end, you'll learn how to create a home that feels lighter, brighter, and more peaceful. I'll share practical tips for decluttering every room of your home, from your kitchen to your living room, your office, and even your personal belongings. We'll talk about how to get rid of duplicates, reduce excess furniture, and let go of sentimental items that are no longer adding value to your life. Not only will this make your home more organized, but it'll also make it easier for you to move around and feel at ease in your own space. But it's not just about making your space look nice, it's about your well-being. By simplifying your surroundings, you'll reduce stress, feel more in control, and even improve your physical health as you create a safer, more comfortable living environment. If you've ever felt like your clutter is controlling you instead of the other way around, this video is exactly what you need. Stay with me because, by the end, you'll be empowered to take the first step toward a more organized, calm, and stress-free home. Let's dive in and get started on your journey to a lighter, happier living space. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Coffee table chaos. Why it might be time to let it go. Let's talk about something we all recognize but might not always appreciate: the coffee table. It's been the heart of living rooms for as long as I can remember, the place where family and friends gather, where memories are made, and where we often set down our drinks, our remotes, and anything else we happen to be holding. But have you ever taken a moment to look at it? When was the last time your coffee table was as neat and orderly as you imagined it should be? If you're anything like me, it feels like it's been far too long. Coffee tables, no matter how beautiful they are, have this quiet way of becoming a dumping ground for everything. Bills you don't feel like dealing with, magazines you haven't gotten around to reading, those half-finished books you keep meaning to pick up again, and of course, the never-ending parade of TV remotes and stray snack plates. Over time, what was once a stylish centerpiece becomes a chaotic, disorganized mess that just adds to the mental clutter in your home. For us seniors, though, the consequences of a cluttered coffee table aren't just about aesthetics. It can be a real hazard. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's tripped over a pile of forgotten items or awkwardly tried to navigate around a table buried under a pile of clutter. It's not just about the inconvenience, it's about safety. The risk of a fall, especially when navigating around a table piled high with everything, is all too real. And bending over to clear it or search for something buried under the mess. My back and knees don't appreciate that, and I'm sure yours don't either. The last thing any of us need is added strain or risk. Now, I have a solution that's been a game changer for me, and I can't help but recommend it. Replace that old, cluttered coffee table with a soft fabric ottoman that doubles as storage. Trust me, it's a lifesaver. Not only does it reduce the risk of injury, no hard corners to bump into or sharp edges to worry about, it also brings a sense of peace and simplicity to the room. The best part? It has hidden storage. Imagine being able to tuck away books, throws, or any other items that usually end up scattered on top. It's a simple solution that keeps things out of sight, out of mind, and away from the clutter trap. So, what do you think? Could it be time to give that coffee table a gentle retirement and make room for something more practical and safer? Stick with me because next, we'll dive into another common source of clutter that might be lurking in your home without you even realizing it. 2. Duplicate kitchen utensils. Simplify your kitchen, simplify your life. Let's talk about something that hits home for all of us, our kitchen. This space, which should be a place of nourishment, creativity, and comfort, can slowly start to feel more like a cluttered maze. If you're anything like me, over the years, it's so easy to accumulate an overwhelming number of kitchen utensils. I can't count the times I've opened a drawer only to find 5 wooden spoons, 3 ladles, and a bunch of mismatched knives that I haven't touched in years. It's almost as if the kitchen has its way of multiplying utensils behind our backs. Does this sound familiar to you? It certainly does to me. For those of us who are a little older, managing a cluttered kitchen can feel like an emotional burden, as well as a physical one. What should be a joyful space for meal prep can quickly become frustrating when every drawer and cabinet seems to be crammed with things that we rarely use. It's easy to lose track of what we need, and it becomes exhausting to sift through the chaos every time we're cooking or cleaning. The simple act of looking for a specific spoon or a single sharp knife can feel like a scavenger hunt that no one signed up for. The truth is, having duplicates might seem convenient in theory, but in reality, they just eat up space and add unnecessary stress. I mean, how many potato mashers does one household need? Or 4 different can openers? Let's be real. How often do we grab that second or third ladle when one works just fine? The clutter isn't just about taking up physical space. It's taking up emotional space too. It's draining. It's mentally exhausting. And it's unnecessary. So, here's my challenge to you. Take a moment to stand in your kitchen, take a deep breath, and think about what you use daily. Pick out those tools that you truly rely on, the ones that make cooking easier and more enjoyable. As for the rest of them, it's time to let go. Donate them, pass them along, or give them away to someone who can put them to use. Trust me, once you clear out the unnecessary clutter, you'll be amazed at how much lighter your space feels, how much easier it is to cook, and how much quicker cleaning becomes. You'll reclaim your kitchen as the peaceful, functional space it was always meant to be. So, go ahead, take a look in your drawers. What's hiding in there? Clear out the clutter, make room for what truly matters, and let your kitchen become a space of calm, not chaos. It's time to simplify, and I promise you'll thank yourself for it. 3. Bulky furniture you don't use. Reclaim your space. Let's take a moment to talk about something that might be weighing you down, even if you haven't noticed it in a while. The bulky furniture that no longer serves you. These are the heavy, oversized pieces that once filled our homes with purpose but have now become more of an obstacle than a comfort. Maybe it's the oversized armchair that nobody ever sits in anymore, or that large, outdated dresser gathering dust in a corner. Or perhaps it's that massive dining table that's too big for the rare family dinners that you hardly host these days. These once practical items that once felt like investments of time and money now take up valuable space and create unnecessary clutter. For us seniors, the importance of reclaiming space goes beyond just a desire for a more aesthetically pleasing home. It's about our well-being, safety, and convenience. Think about how overwhelming it can be to maneuver around a crowded room when you're using a walker or dealing with limited mobility. Those large, imposing furniture pieces that used to feel cozy and comforting now feel like roadblocks, making it more challenging to move freely and comfortably in a space that should feel like your sanctuary. How many times have you found yourself frustrated after bumping into that heavy coffee table or struggling to clean around that massive bookshelf? I know, because I've been there too. Over time, we may get used to the clutter, but the truth is, it's stealing away the peacefulness and safety we deserve in our homes. So, ask yourself, do I need all this? How much easier and more enjoyable would it be to walk around a room where the space flows freely, without constant obstacles in the way? Imagine the sense of relief you'd feel by replacing those large, cumbersome items with more compact, functional furniture that fits your needs now. Not only will it free up physical space, but it will also free up your mind, allowing you to move through your home without frustration or worry. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, Please comment one below to let me know that you are still here with me. It's time to let go. Donate what you no longer need or pass it down to family members who can make use of it. Trust me, it's a win-win. You get the freedom of a more open, welcoming space, and someone else gets the benefit of items that still have life left in them. Letting go isn't just about decluttering your home. It's about making room for more of what truly matters, creating a safe, serene environment that will allow you to live your life with ease and joy. And that, my friend, is priceless. 4. Old magazines and newspapers. Clearing the clutter. Let me ask you something from the heart. When was the last time you actually sat down and read those old magazines or newspapers that are slowly but surely overtaking the corner of your living room? If you're anything like me, you probably kept thinking, I might need that recipe one day, or that article was so interesting, I'll get around to reading it later. But let's face it, later never really comes, does it? And those piles of old paper? They just keep stacking up, silently weighing down on your peace of mind, while you keep telling yourself, I'll deal with it soon. Well, soon never seems to arrive, does it? For so many of us, particularly as we grow older, those piles of magazines and newspapers can feel like something more than just clutter. They become a comforting connection to the past. They're like old friends, full of memories, stories, and a reminder of simpler times when life felt more manageable. Maybe we think that each piece holds something important, something that we just can't part with. But here's the hard truth. More often than not, they end up as dust collectors, taking up precious space that could be better used for things that truly matter. And they become a constant source of frustration, an ever-growing mountain that we dread cleaning around. We find ourselves hesitating to tidy up because it's just too much, and we're left feeling overwhelmed. But here's the real game changer. What if we took a step back and truly assessed what we need to keep? Instead of letting these stacks consume us, why not go through them and only keep the articles, recipes, or magazines that truly hold sentimental value? If there's a recipe that you love, why not snap a photo of it on your phone? If there's a life-changing tip that you've been meaning to try, clip it out and make a little scrapbook of your favorites. You'll be surprised at how much lighter and more inviting your space will feel when those piles are gone, no longer looming over you like a heavy cloud. Imagine the sense of calm and joy that will flood your heart when you walk into a clean, decluttered space, a space that feels refreshed, renewed, and ready for new memories. Sometimes, letting go is the best thing we can do for our mental and emotional well-being. It's not just about getting rid of things. It's about making room for a better, more peaceful life. So, take a deep breath, grab a trash bag, and clear out that clutter. You'll be amazed at how much more you'll enjoy your home and your life when the weight of the past no longer holds you back. 5. Mystery wires and cords. Untangle the chaos. Mystery wires and cords. Oh, how they seem to multiply in the most unexpected places. Hidden in drawers, tangled behind furniture, and often found lurking under the bed, they silently accumulate over time. These aren't just any wires. They're the forgotten relics of gadgets we no longer use, chargers for phones we upgraded years ago, and cables for devices that have long been replaced. You know exactly what I mean, the dreaded mess of tangled cords, with no clue which one goes to what, and every time you need to find a specific charger, you're left rummaging through a chaotic heap, hoping you'll spot the right one. It's a frustrating scene, isn't it? For us seniors, this isn't just a minor inconvenience. No, this mess can pose real risks. Those tangled wires aren't just an eyesore. They can be a hazard, making trips and falls more likely than we care to admit. A misplaced wire on the floor can easily become the culprit of a dangerous slip, especially if we're not as quick on our feet as we used to be. And let's be honest, who has the energy to sort through a knotted web of cables every time they need to charge something? It's maddening. I know I've felt that frustration more than once, wondering why I didn't take the time to deal with it sooner. But here's the thing, it's not too late. It's time to reclaim our space and our peace of mind. I highly recommend setting aside an afternoon to tackle this mini project. Trust me, You'll be surprised at how refreshing it feels once it's done. Begin by labeling the wires you still use regularly with masking tape and a simple marker. You don't need anything fancy. For the ones you no longer need, it's time to let go. Don't just shove them in a drawer. Dispose of them responsibly. Many local libraries, electronic stores, and community centers offer e-waste recycling programs, so you can drop off those outdated cables in a safe and eco-friendly way. Once you've pared down the clutter, you'll feel an incredible sense of relief. Your home will feel more organized, calmer, and just simpler. No more rummaging through that monstrous tangle when you need to charge your phone or tablet. Instead, you'll have everything neatly labeled and easy to access. It's one of those small yet incredibly satisfying changes that can make a big difference in the flow of your daily life. It's not just about decluttering your home, it's about decluttering your mind, too. So take a deep breath, roll up your sleeves, and get started. You'll be so glad you did. 6. Sentimental collectibles. Keep the memories, lose the clutter. This one tugs at the heartstrings, our sentimental collectibles. Over the years, we tend to gather little trinkets, knickknacks, and souvenirs that are tied to precious memories, whether it's a figurine from a special trip or a keepsake from a loved one. I understand all too well how deeply these items can connect us to the past. Each one tells a story of love, of joy, of laughter, or even of hardship that we've overcome. It's so hard to part with something that holds a piece of our hearts. But here's the truth. When we let these treasures accumulate in every corner of our homes, they can slowly lose their magic. They transform from heartfelt mementos into mere clutter, overwhelming the very space they once brought joy to. For many of us seniors, the act of letting go feels like we're losing a piece of our past, or perhaps we're betraying the memory of someone we loved. But I want to remind you, memories don't live in the things we keep. They live in our hearts, in the moments we recall with a smile, in the stories we pass down to others. Holding on to every trinket doesn't mean keeping the memory alive. It means weighing ourselves down with physical reminders that no longer serve us. By letting go of some of these items, we're not letting go of the love, the laughter, or the beautiful moments they've come to represent. My suggestion is simple yet deeply meaningful. Go through your collection of keepsakes and choose the ones that truly make your heart swell with happiness. Keep a few select pieces that make you smile every time you see them. Display them proudly, on a beautiful shelf, in a shadow box, or in a cherished cabinet. Let them shine. Let them stand as the little treasures they are instead of getting lost among the clutter. And then, consider passing the rest on, maybe to your children or grandchildren or even to a charity. These items can find a new life while you make space for new memories and experiences. Remember, your home should be a place of peace, calm, and serenity. It should invite you to relax, not make you feel overwhelmed by the weight of too many things. You've earned that peaceful space. Don't let the past prevent you from embracing the present. 7. One-time hobby supplies. Letting go of what no longer fits. Hobbies. I can't help but feel a wave of nostalgia thinking about all the hobbies we've tried over the years. Remember that time we were so excited about learning to knit, or the afternoon spent with paints and brushes, hoping to finally create our masterpiece? I know, I've been there too, eager to dive into a new hobby, imagining all the joy it would bring. But life, as it often does, gets in the way. Sometimes we lose interest, or perhaps we simply don't have the time to dedicate to those projects anymore. And yet, those unused supplies, left forgotten in closets or tucked away under the bed, still sit there, quietly reminding us of things we started but never finished. For us seniors, it's easy to let guilt creep in. We may feel a sense of loss over unfinished projects or think about the money we spent on supplies we no longer need. But let me tell you something important. Keeping these things doesn't bring back the joy or the satisfaction we once felt. It only fills our homes with more clutter. It's time to release that weight. Letting go of hobby supplies doesn't mean we're giving up on the things we once loved. It means we're permitting ourselves to focus on what truly brings us joy today. We deserve that. My advice is this: it's okay to let go of the things you no longer have a passion for. Look through your supplies, and if there's anything that no longer sparks excitement, it's time to part with it. Don't feel guilty about it. Consider donating these items to schools, community centers, or even a local crafting group. Think about how someone else could make use of what's no longer serving you. Sharing your supplies can bring a new spark of joy to others while giving you back the space you deserve. Remember, a clutter-free home is not just about the physical space, it's about mental and emotional space, too. It makes room for new hobbies, new memories, and a life that feels lighter and freer. 8. Specialty kitchen appliances. Free your countertops. The kitchen. For many of us, it's the heart of the home, the place where we've prepared countless meals and where we've shared moments with loved ones over delicious food. But let's face it, over time, we've all accumulated specialty appliances, things like that popcorn maker you used once, the waffle iron that was a must-have at the time, or that fancy pasta machine you thought would revolutionize your cooking. These gadgets, while exciting when we first get them, often end up gathering dust in a corner or shoved into a cabinet. And here's the thing: we don't always use them. So why let them take up precious space, especially when it's so hard to come by in our kitchens? For us seniors, every inch of counter or storage space is so valuable. A cluttered kitchen doesn't just look messy, it makes cooking and cleaning that much harder. I can't tell you how many times I've had to dig through piles of barely used gadgets to get to my favorite trusty blender or slow cooker. It's frustrating, and it drains the joy out of what should be a peaceful space. So, here's my suggestion. If you haven't used an appliance in the last 6 months, let it go. No guilt, no second guessing. Stick to the items that are versatile and that you genuinely use, like a good blend or perhaps a slow cooker that lets you prepare meals with ease. For everything else, pass it along to someone who will ace it. Maybe a friend, a family member, or someone in need. By letting go of these space-hogging appliances, you'll create a kitchen that's not just functional but also a true pleasure to be in. 9. Holiday plates and decorations. Rethink seasonal storage. Holiday-themed plates, napkins, and decorations. Who doesn't love them? There's something so magical about pulling out those special items every season, setting the table with holiday cheer, and feeling the warmth of tradition. But here's the truth: those holiday items only get used once or twice a year. The rest of the time, they're just taking up valuable storage space in your cabinets, closets, or attic. And for us seniors, the effort of dragging out heavy bins, climbing ladders, or sorting through piles of themed decorations might be more hassle than it's worth. It's easy to see how the joy of those items can fade when the process of storing and retrieving them becomes more difficult. So, here's what I suggest. Let go of the stress and simplify. Focus on versatile, neutral pieces that can be adapted to any holiday or celebration. A simple white plate, for example, can look festive with a set of colorful napkins or a beautiful centerpiece. When it comes to decorations, choose a few that truly hold meaning or make a bold impact. Donate or pass along the rest to someone who will appreciate them. By simplifying, you'll not only create more space in your home, but you'll also make the holidays less stressful and more enjoyable. 10. Simplified office supplies. Keep only the essentials. Let's talk about the desk, the space where we handle our paperwork, write our notes, and keep our affairs in order. Over the years, it's easy to accumulate an overwhelming number of office supplies. Dozens of pens, markers, highlighters, notepads, and sticky notes seem to multiply without us even noticing. But let's be honest, how often do we see all of them? If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. For us seniors, having a clean, organized workspace is essential. The last thing we need is a drawer full of pens that no longer write or a stack of notepads we forgot we even had. It's overwhelming, and it clutters our minds as much as it does our space. The key to a peaceful, functional office is simplicity. Focus on the essentials: the pens that work, a notepad or two, maybe a pair of scissors. Anything beyond that is just taking up space. So, my advice is simple. Go through your supplies and test each item. Anything that doesn't work, throw it out. Anything you no longer need or use, donate. By simplifying, you'll create a tidy, calming workspace that makes writing a note, managing paperwork, or simply paying bills a much easier and more pleasant task. You'll feel the difference in your daily life when your office is organized and free from unnecessary clutter. 11. Ditch the filing cabinet. Go digital and save space. Let's have an honest conversation about those old filing cabinets, shall we? If you're anything like me, you've probably had one in your home for decades, jam-packed with a jumble of paperwork, bills you've already paid, tax forms from years ago, warranties for items you no longer own, and maybe, just maybe, a few old recipes from family gatherings. They once served a purpose, didn't they? Back in the day, these filing cabinets were a lifeline, neatly storing everything we needed to keep track of. But now, they've become a bit of a burden, don't you think? For us seniors, especially, trying to sort through piles of papers just to find that one essential document can feel like an insurmountable task. And let's face it, half the time, we don't even know what we're looking at. The sheer volume of paper seems overwhelming. Worse yet, the longer we keep them, the more likely it becomes that we'll misplace something truly important or, even worse, allow the clutter to take over our lives. Here's a thought. Why not go digital? It's time to embrace technology and move your important documents into the 21st century. Scan your crucial files and store them safely in a digital folder. Don't worry if you're not tech-savvy. It's a great excuse to connect with a family member or friend who can help you. Imagine the peace of mind you'll feel knowing that everything you need is securely stored, easily accessible, and, most importantly, out of sight, freeing up your space. Once everything is digitized, you'll be amazed at how little you need to keep. That filing cabinet that's been taking up precious space in your home can now be a thing of the past. What you choose to do with that newly liberated space is up to you. Whether it's for something more useful or simply to enjoy the open, uncluttered feel of your home. Don't wait for the clutter to overwhelm you. Take the step today. Your future self will thank you. 12. Outdated plastic cups. Time to switch to something better. Oh, those plastic cups. We all have them. Maybe they were souvenirs from a family trip, remnants of takeout orders, or a gift from a holiday event. They seem harmless enough, right? Just a few mismatched cups here and there. But as time goes on, those once charming plastic cups start to crack, fade, and lose their luster. Worse yet, they can leach harmful chemicals into your drinks, especially when exposed to heat or wear. I can't help but think about how much safer we could feel using something more durable, especially as we get older and are more aware of our health and safety. Our bodies deserve better than the risks posed by chemicals from outdated plastic. And don't even get me started on how much space they take up in our cabinets. Most of us, especially as seniors, have far more cups than we'll ever need, and many of them just sit there, adding to the clutter. Let's make a change. It's time to upgrade. Consider swapping those old, faded plastic cups for something more sustainable, like durable glassware or stainless steel tumblers. Not only are these options healthier, but they're also a touch more elegant, don't you think? They look great on the table, and they'll last much longer. As for the old plastic ones, don't just throw them away. Why not recycle them or repurpose them for something creative? Use them as small plant pots or as storage containers for your craft supplies. This little switch won't just clear up your cabinet space. It'll also give your kitchen a fresh, organized look. And more importantly, your drinks will taste better, too. It's time to say goodbye to the plastic and make a healthier, more thoughtful choice for your home. 13. Natural air freshening. A healthier way to breathe. There's something so comforting about a fresh-smelling home, isn't there? For years, many of us have relied on candles and air fresheners to keep our homes smelling pleasant. But here's the hard truth. A lot of these products are packed with chemicals that are doing us more harm than good. As we get older, our lungs can become more sensitive, and we spend more time indoors. The last thing we want is to breathe in toxic fumes from products that are supposed to make our homes smell better. I was shocked to learn that many scented candles release harmful chemicals like formaldehyde as they burn. Air fresheners, with their overpowering synthetic fragrances, often just mask odors instead of eliminating them, and they can irritate our lungs, especially if we already have respiratory concerns or allergies. I'm here to offer you a healthier, safer alternative: natural air fresheners. Essential oils, for example, are a wonderful way to freshen the air in your home without resorting to chemicals. You can use an essential oil diffuser to fill your space with a calming, pleasant scent that's both natural and therapeutic. Soy-based candles with no added chemicals are another great choice. They offer the same warm ambience but without the harmful effects. And don't forget about simple, natural solutions. Opening a window to let in fresh air or using a small indoor plant, like lavender, to purify the air. Our homes should be our sanctuaries, a haven from the outside world. Let's take steps to ensure that the air we breathe is as pure as possible. After all, our well-being is worth it. 14. Chemical-free laundry. A safer, smarter choice. Laundry. It's a task we all have to do, but how often do we stop to think about the products we're using? Dryer sheets, for example, might make our clothes smell fresh, but did you know they're packed with chemicals that can irritate our skin? As we get older, our skin becomes more sensitive, and the last thing we need is a product that could cause discomfort or even a rash. Over time, these chemical-filled sheets can also leave residue on our clothes, which can break down fabrics and make them wear out faster. For me, this realization hit home when I started thinking about how much better I could be treating my skin and clothes, and the environment too. There's a much smarter, safer alternative: wool dryer balls. These little wonders are natural, reusable, and incredibly effective at softening your clothes and reducing static, without any harmful chemicals. And if you like the smell of fresh laundry, you can add a few drops of your favorite essential oil to the dryer balls. Not only will your skin thank you for the chemical-free switch, but you'll also extend the life of your clothes, and you won't be adding to the mountain of waste caused by single-use dryer sheets. When you make this small change, you're doing yourself and the planet a favor. It's an easy switch that makes a big difference, one that I truly believe is worth making. Take a moment to consider how your laundry routine could be a little healthier and a little simpler. You deserve it. 15. Ineffective bug zappers. A buzzkill for your space. Let's talk about bug zappers. I can't tell you how many times I've bought one, thinking it would be the solution to my mosquito woes. You know, the glowing lights that promise to zap every mosquito in sight. At first, they seem like such a brilliant idea. But after a while, it becomes clear they don't work as advertised. Instead of solving our pest problem, they end up attracting more harmless insects than mosquitoes. And for those of us with sensitive hearing, the constant zapping sound can become not only annoying but downright unsettling. It's also frustrating to realize that mosquitoes are more likely to be drawn to our body scent rather than the UV lights these zappers emit. Here's a better solution. Take a more natural, effective approach. A simple oscillating fan can create enough airflow to keep mosquitoes from landing in the first place. If you're spending time indoors, using a well-placed mosquito net or screen is an excellent chemical-free alternative. Not only do these solutions work better, but they're quieter, more peaceful, and let's be honest, much easier on the eyes. So, if you've got an old bug zapper sitting in your garage collecting dust, maybe it's time to let it go. Sometimes, less really is more, and your home will feel that much more peaceful without the constant hum of ineffective gadgets. 16. Unsafe cookware. Protect your health in the kitchen. Let's talk about something that's near and dear to our hearts: our trusty cookware. Those pots and pans we've relied on for years, maybe even decades. Over time, they start showing signs of wear and tear, don't they? That favorite non-stick pan that has seen better days is now covered in unsightly scratches. Or perhaps the once solid frying pan with a warped bottom that makes cooking feel like a battle. We've all been there, tempted to hold on to these old friends for a little longer, telling ourselves, it still works, or I'll just use it one more time. But let me tell you, it might be time to part ways. For us older adults, our health and safety should be at the forefront of every decision we make, especially in the kitchen. A scratched, non-stick pan can start releasing harmful chemicals into your food. And those chemicals, they're not just things we can shrug off. They can affect our health in ways we don't always see right away. A pan with an uneven surface? It doesn't just make cooking frustrating. It can also cause spills, burns, and accidents that no one needs, especially when we're looking for more peace and less chaos in our lives. It's not just the safety that's the problem. Older cookware can be a nightmare to clean. You scrub, and it still looks grimy. It's exhausting. So here's my advice, from one senior to another. Stop holding on to the past and make the switch to cookware that will truly serve you in the years to come. Invest in durable, high-quality pieces. Stainless steel, cast iron, or ceramic are all excellent choices. They're not just safer, they're longer-lasting, too. And, best of all, they're much easier to maintain. Trust me, your future self will thank you for it. And when you let go of those old beaten-up pans, you'll free up space in your kitchen, and in your heart. Your kitchen should be a place of joy, not stress, so make it one that reflects your well-being. 17. Declutter old tech. Let go of yesterday's gadgets. Let's take a moment to remember the good old days, those vintage gadgets we thought were groundbreaking. How many of you still have a dusty cassette player tucked away in a drawer? Or maybe an ancient cell phone, the kind that used to be the pride of our collection? I'm guilty, too. Sometimes, we just can't seem to part with them. What if I need this one day, we think. But let's be honest here, how often do we use them? Hardly ever. They're just sitting there, collecting dust. For seniors like us, it's not just about reclaiming space. It's about simplifying our lives. We've lived through so much, and at this stage, we deserve the peace that comes with minimalism. All those tangled wires, outdated accessories, and old devices? They don't help us stay organized. They only add to the clutter. And what's worse, these gadgets are no longer compatible with anything we use today. They just serve as reminders of a time gone by, and that's okay, it's time to let go. Here's my heartfelt advice. Clear them out. Recycle or donate these items. There are so many programs today that help recycle electronics, and some of those old devices can even be refurbished and given to someone in need. Ask your family to lend a hand, and you'll find that sorting through these forgotten treasures can be a healing experience. The relief you'll feel from clearing out the old will be worth more than any outdated gadget could ever provide. You'll have more room to breathe, and your home will reflect the simpler, more intentional life you're building today. 18. Someday items. Free your mind and space. Ah, the someday items. We all have them, don't we? You know, those things we hold on to because we just know we'll use them again. Someday. Maybe it's an old sewing machine tucked away in the closet. Perhaps it's a stack of unused paint supplies or that dusty treadmill that hasn't seen a workout in years. We tell ourselves one day, I'll get around to it. But let's be honest, how many years have they been sitting there, untouched and forgotten? For us seniors, these items often carry emotional weight. They represent plans, dreams, or even regrets. Things we might have done if we had more time and energy or if circumstances had been different. But the truth is, these someday items are often nothing more than mental and physical clutter. They take up valuable space, both in your home and in your mind. The longer we hold on to them, the more chaotic our living space feels. My advice: be honest with yourself. Look at what's serving you now. If something hasn't been touched in a year or more, it's time to let it go. And it doesn't have to be hard. Donate those items to someone who can use them. Knowing that your old belongings will help someone else can make parting with them so much easier. And as you let go, you'll find that your home, your space, will feel lighter and more aligned with who you are today, not the version of yourself that never quite materialized. 19. Fragrance-loaded dryer sheets. A fresh change for your laundry. Now, let's talk about dryer sheets. Those little squares we toss in with our laundry to make everything smell fresh and soft. They seem harmless enough, right? But here's the thing. Many of these dryer sheets are loaded with chemicals that can irritate sensitive skin, especially for us older folks. The fragrances? They're designed to mask other chemicals, but all they do is cover up potential allergens and irritants that can cause rashes, allergies, and even respiratory problems. And while they may make your clothes smell good in the short run, they leave behind a residue that can cause fabrics to wear out faster. Over time, these single-use products can add up, not just in cost but in waste. Do we need to keep using something that adds unnecessary clutter to our lives, both in our homes and in our environment? If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. My suggestion: it's time to switch to something more natural and sustainable. Wool dryer balls are a fantastic alternative, reusable, chemical-free, and they reduce static. If you still want a hint of fragrance, just add a few drops of essential oils. It's a simple, cleaner solution for both your health and the planet. Make the switch, and I promise you, your laundry routine will feel lighter, cleaner, and so much more aligned with the way you want to live. 20. Healthy cooking choices. Say goodbye to deep fryers. Let's head back to the kitchen once more and take a look at that deep fryer. You know the one I'm talking about, the bulky appliance you thought was a great idea at the time. Homemade fries, crispy chicken, maybe even tempura, all those golden, crispy dishes. But over the years, that deep fryer has probably become more of a space hog than a helpful kitchen tool. And as we get older, we've got to ask ourselves, is all that fried food doing us any favors? As seniors, staying healthy is so important. And deep frying? Well, it's not exactly the healthiest option. Not only does it contribute to unhealthy eating habits, but deep fryers are also difficult to clean and take up so much counter or cabinet space. They're heavy, cumbersome, and just plain awkward to deal with, adding stress and frustration to your cooking experience. Here's my advice. Invest in something more versatile and healthier, like an air fryer or convection oven. These tools can give you that crispy, golden texture without the oil, making your meals lighter and your cleanup so much easier. Plus, they take up much less space and look so sleek in your kitchen. It's a small change, but one that can make a big difference in the way you live and in the way you feel. 21. Repurpose hotel freebies. Give them a new life. Let's take a moment to reflect on those little treasures we often bring home from hotels. The shower caps, mini bottles of shampoo, and those cute soaps that seem too useful to leave behind. At the time, we thought, this will come in handy someday. But let's be honest, how often do these things get used? More often than not, they end up stashed away in a drawer, forgotten and gathering dust. Sound familiar? For many seniors, these small items accumulate quickly. We hold on to them, telling ourselves, I might need this one day, and before we know it, they're taking up precious space and cluttering our homes. But here's the thing. Holding on to too many unused hotel freebies doesn't just crowd our homes, it adds to that overwhelming feeling we sometimes can't shake. It's like carrying around a mental load, a quiet reminder of things we don't need but somehow can't let go. Here's a suggestion from the heart. Take a moment to go through these items with fresh eyes. Keep only what's truly useful, like the travel-sized shampoos for an upcoming getaway, and consider donating or repurposing the rest. For example, shower caps can serve as clever covers for your shoes when you're traveling, or even as handy bowl protectors in the fridge. As for unused soaps and shampoos, don't let them go to waste. There are shelters, community centers, and organizations that would welcome these small gifts and put them to good use. You'll feel a deep sense of fulfillment knowing these items, once tucked away, are now serving a greater purpose. By giving these hotel freebies a second chance, whether through donation or repurposing, you'll create more space, lighten your home, and, most importantly, feel a sense of relief that your things are no longer just taking up space but doing something meaningful. So, the next time you open that drawer, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can I let go of, and how can I give this a new life? 22. Gentle skincare choices. A softer touch for your skin. Let's talk about something incredibly personal and important. Self-care. More specifically, our skincare routines as we grow older. As we age, our skin changes in ways we can't ignore. It becomes thinner, more fragile, and increasingly sensitive. And yet, how many of us are still clinging to old habits, like using harsh cleansers or chemical-heavy products, without considering the toll they might be taking on our skin? I know I've been guilty of holding on to makeup wipes or fragranced creams, thinking they're still doing the job. But it's time to ask ourselves, are these products serving us now? For seniors, switching to gentle, natural skincare is not just a choice, it's an act of self-love. It's about honoring the skin that has carried us through the years, the skin that deserves kindness and care. Look for products with fewer ingredients and no artificial fragrances. Think aloe vera-based moisturizers or soothing, mild cleansers that nourish rather than strip your skin. These options aren't just easier on your skin, they help maintain your skin's health in a way that harsh products simply can't. And if you're like me, you've probably been using makeup wipes out of habit. But let me tell you, there's a better way. Try replacing those wipes with a soft washcloth and a natural cleansing oil. Not only are they far gentler on your skin, but they're also reusable, eco-friendly, and a more sustainable choice for the planet. Plus, they help you cut down on single-use waste, which feels like a small but significant victory in a world that's constantly producing. So, take a long look at your skincare shelf. Could it use a refresh? What does your skin need, especially now when it deserves the best care it can get? Be gentle with yourself, both in your routine and in your expectations. Your skin will thank you. 23. Piggy banks in a cashless world. A new purpose for an old friend. Remember the thrill of dropping coins into a piggy bank and letting it fill up over time? For many of us, those little piggy banks weren't just for saving. They were symbols of hope, of goals, of possibilities. They carried the excitement of saving for something big. But let's face it, today, in a world where we swipe cards and tap apps to make purchases, those once cherished piggy banks often sit empty, gathering dust. In fact, for many seniors, these banks are nothing more than sentimental relics of a time when saving was more tactile and more personal. But here's the thing. Just because the coins are no longer part of our daily lives doesn't mean our piggy banks have lost their purpose. It's time to breathe new life into them, to rethink what they mean to us. For me, I've found that these banks can be wonderful vessels for memories. Consider using them as a memory jar. Fill them with small mementos like ticket stubs, postcards, or little notes that capture special moments. Or, if you have a collection, pick one that has a particular sentimental value and let the others go. Letting go doesn't erase the memories. It frees up space for new ones. If you have extra piggy banks you no longer need, think about donating them to schools or community centers. Imagine how much joy they can bring to a new generation of children who will learn the value of saving the way we did. It's a beautiful way to pass on a little piece of our history while creating room for new experiences. So, take a look at those piggy banks. What could they become now? How can they be repurposed to bring joy, memories, and even some peace of mind? Don't let them sit idle. Give them a new lease on life, and in doing so, lighten your space and your heart. 24. Old magazines and newspapers. Clear the clutter. Breathe easier. Let's talk about something many of us are guilty of: the ever-growing pile of magazines and newspapers. Over the years, it's easy to hang on to these stacks, thinking, "I'll read that article later," or "this recipe is too good to lose." But let's be honest, how often do we go back to them? For many of us, these piles serve as a dusty reminder of good intentions that never quite materialized. They become overwhelming, both physically and emotionally, especially when we realize just how much space they're taking up. For seniors, decluttering isn't just about clearing out space. It's about creating a home that feels comfortable, serene, and easy to live in. Those old magazines and newspapers often attract dust and allergens, making the air heavier to breathe and the space harder to maintain. Not to mention, they can become tripping hazards, especially when we're navigating around them. Letting go of the excess is more than just tidying up. It's about protecting your peace of mind. Here's what I suggest. Go through your collection and keep only the items that truly bring you joy or hold significant meaning. If there's an article or recipe you love, take a photo of it or clip it out and save it in a folder for easy access. The rest? It's time to recycle and let go. You'll be amazed at how much lighter and brighter your home feels once the clutter is gone. It's like a weight lifted off your shoulders, allowing you to breathe easier, both physically and emotionally. Take a moment to check what's hiding under your coffee table or tucked away in that magazine rack. What can you let go of today to create a more peaceful, open space in your home? Sometimes, the act of clearing out the clutter is the first step in clearing our minds, too. And believe me, the air feels a lot fresher when we permit ourselves to let go. 25. Bulky furniture adjustment. Create a more comfortable space. Let's have a heart-to-heart about the furniture in our homes. The big, often unwieldy pieces we've held onto for far too long. Perhaps it's an armchair that's seen better days, collecting dust in the corner, or a grand dining table that no longer serves a purpose in our everyday lives. These items, while often tied to cherished memories, can begin to feel more like burdens than blessings. While sentimental value is important, we have to be real. If our furniture is making our living space feel cramped and difficult to navigate, it's time for a change. For seniors, this isn't just a matter of style. It's about the practicality of living in our own homes safely and comfortably. A room cluttered with oversized furniture not only makes it harder to move freely, but can also increase the risk of dangerous trips or falls, especially if you rely on a walker or cane. The space we call home should feel like a sanctuary, a place where we can easily relax, move around, and most importantly, stay safe. Here's what I suggest. Start by looking at each piece of furniture with a fresh perspective. Ask yourself honestly, do I still use this? Does this piece make my space feel welcoming and comfortable, or does it just take up space? If it no longer serves a purpose or brings you joy, consider donating or selling it. Replacing bulky furniture with smaller, more functional pieces will free up your space, making it feel open and breathable. You deserve a home that's easy to navigate, a place that feels lighter both in terms of clutter and emotional weight. 26. Unnecessary decorations. Simplify your space with meaningful touches. Now, let's talk about something else that can easily sneak up on us: decorations. Over the years, we have gathered all sorts of trinkets, figurines, and wall art, thinking they add character to our homes. But before we know it, our space has become cluttered with so many things, each one vying for attention. What once felt like a way to brighten up the home now might make it feel chaotic, even suffocating. More isn't always better. Sometimes, less truly is more. For seniors, simplifying our decorations isn't about losing our sense of style or personality. It's about creating an environment that nurtures peace and serenity. It's about keeping the items that truly resonate with us, those things that spark joy, hold deep meaning, or serve a practical purpose. Think about that picture of your children or grandchildren, the vase handed down from a beloved relative, or that painting that brings a smile to your face every time you walk past it. These are the things that make a house feel like home. Here's my advice. Take a walk through your home and look at each item. Ask yourself, does this piece make me feel good? Does it truly add to the warmth of my space? If the answer is no, consider donating or giving it away. Doing so will not only create more breathing room in your home, but will also help highlight the pieces that matter most to you. Simplifying your decor can breathe new life into your surroundings, making your home feel elegant and peaceful, just the way it should be. 27. Unused fitness gadgets. Reclaim your space and simplify. Let's face it, many of us have a closet or corner filled with fitness gadgets we thought would be our ticket to better health. Whether it's a Thigh Master, a set of resistance bands, or a treadmill now collecting dust, these gadgets seemed like a great idea when we first bought them. But if we're being honest, most of them have long since fallen out of use, leaving behind nothing but clutter and guilt. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. For seniors, staying active is crucial, but we don't need a room full of fancy equipment to do it. All that unused gear doesn't just take up precious space, it also serves as a constant reminder of things we aren't doing, which can feel disheartening. The truth is, the most effective way to stay fit often doesn't require expensive gadgets or machines. Sometimes, it's as simple as a walk in the park, some gentle stretching, or a few yoga poses. What matters most is moving a part of our daily lives, not the equipment we use to do it. Here's my suggestion. Take a moment to assess your fitness gear. Keep only the basics that you use, like a yoga mat or a set of light weights, and donate the rest. Passing along those unused items to a local community center or selling them online will give them new life and free up your space to breathe. Trust me, your health and happiness don't depend on having the latest gadget. What truly matters is the commitment to move, no matter how simple the action. 28. Share unused items. Declutter with purpose and joy. Finally, let's talk about something deeply rewarding. Sharing. Over the years, we all accumulate things that are still in good condition but no longer serve us. It might be extra dishes, a piece of furniture that no longer fits, or a stack of books we've already read. These items may no longer have a place in your home, but they could bring a world of good to someone else. For seniors, decluttering isn't just about clearing out space. It's about giving with purpose and finding joy in the act of letting go. When you donate your unused items to local charities, schools, or shelters, you're not just creating more room in your home, you're sharing a piece of your life with others. The satisfaction that comes from knowing your possessions are being put to good use is a gift in itself. Here's my advice. Start small. Pick one area of your home and gather the items that you no longer need. Think about who could benefit from them: a neighbor, a family member, or a local organization. Share them with others and watch how your act of kindness creates a ripple of goodwill. Not only will you lighten your load, but you'll also deepen your connections with others. By giving your unused belongings a new home, you're making space for the things that truly matter, both in your home and in your heart. As we wrap up today's video, I hope you've gained some valuable insights on how to create a more comfortable, functional, and peaceful space at home. From adjusting your furniture and simplifying your decorations to reclaiming your space by letting go of unused items, these changes can make a huge difference in how you feel daily. It's all about creating a home that supports your well-being, safety, and happiness, especially as we embrace this stage of life. So, what have you learned today? What's one thing you can start applying to your own life right now? I'd love to hear from you. Please share in the comments below what's resonated with you most and what small change you're going to implement in your home. And if you found this video helpful, please leave a comment, like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to bring you more content that inspires and helps you live your best life. Thank you so much for watching.